Hi, this is Mike West at American Pacific Mortgage and Vista. This is a short informational video on how you can be more prepared to deal with any new challenges that are brought on by the new Tila Respa integrated disclosures effective October 3rd, 2015. So let's get into it. So we urge you to embrace this change and just be aware of the changes so that you can be as helpful as possible to ensure that your transactions close on time and smoothly. American Pacific Mortgage is committed to making sure all of our partners are as prepared as we are for this industry-wide change, and there are a few simple changes that will help you easily adapt to the new normal. So how does TRID impact you? Well, let's talk about what transactions are affected, when it does take effect, what will be different for your clients, and what could cause your transaction to be delayed, and what you can do to prevent closing delays. So what transactions are affected? TRID applies to most closed-end consumer loans. The exceptions are home equity lines of credit, reverse mortgages, mortgages secured by a mobile home or a dwelling not attached to the real property, and creditors who originate less than 5 loans in a calendar year. So when does TRID take effect? It took effect October 3rd, 2015. So any contract and application that's taken after October 3rd, 2013 will be under the new Tila Respa integrated disclosure laws. So what will be different for your clients? They will have to consent to receive documents electronically. They will receive new forms, loan estimate and closing disclosure. There are new rules for an intent to proceed that's required, a new consumer booklet, and new delivery timelines. So consent to receive documents electronically will have to be received from us. So we have a new user-friendly step in place to make sure this is simple for the borrower. There may be times we ask for your assistance to help encourage borrowers to respond to this request in a timely manner, because an untimely response can cause further issues and further delays. So why the new forms? Integrated disclosures are the new forms intended to replace existing disclosures which were created by different agencies with overlapping and inconsistent language. The new forms are easy to read and explain critical loan details in clear language to assist the consumer in deciding if they can afford the loan. So the new forms are the loan estimate, which combines the GFE and the initial truth in lending statements. They must be delivered within 3 business days of the application and must be delivered no less than 7 business days prior to consummation. The intent to proceed. Borrowers will be required to provide an intent to proceed in order to collect method of payment for the appraisal and required verification documents, pay stubs, bank statements, etc. Intent to proceed must be granted by the borrower after receipt of the loan estimate. The rule states that intent to proceed may be verbal. However, most lenders are requiring a written intent to proceed for compliance purposes. APMC will obtain intent to proceed via the initial disclosure packet. New forms, your home loan toolkit. The new 28-page booklet for borrowers will be delivered electronically. It replaces the 50-plus page settlement cost booklet that was required prior to the new rule. This is required with initial disclosures, and CHARM and HELOC will still be required as well. That is for adjustable rate mortgages and home equity loans of credit. So the new forms, the closing disclosure combines the HUD and final till. There's a simple comparison to the loan estimate. Lender prepares the buyer's side, escrow prepares the seller's statement. Must be delivered within 3 business days before consummation, which means signing loan documents. And if certain information changes after the first closing disclosure is issued, new waiting periods may apply. So the APA edge. American Pacific Mortgage recognizes the need for you to remain competitive in the marketplace, especially in multiple offer situations where the closing date is important. We have created a workflow that will allow us to issue the closing disclosure prior to final loan approval. Our originators and processors will be able to request the closing disclosure at the time the loan is being submitted for final underwriting approval, so the CD can be issued while we're waiting for approval and audits. That's going to save us 1 to 2 days. And in this case, every day counts. The new forms, the closing disclosure, consummation. Regulation Z defines consummation as the time that a consumer becomes contractually obligated on a credit transaction, as defined by applicable state law. The new forms, delivery requirements on the closing disclosure. The borrower and all title-only persons must receive the first CD no later than 3 days before consummation. The CD must be redisclosed and a new waiting period will apply if any of the following occur. APR goes up by 1/8 or more, loan product changes, or prepayment penalty is added. If a CD is revised and reissued for any reason other than the 3 listed above, new waiting periods will not apply. So typically after loan documents we're ready to draw loan documents, we're not going to change the rate, we're not going to change the program, and we're not going to add a prepayment penalty. So this is typically not likely. In the closing disclosure, a couple of definitions are the business days closing disclosure. For the delivery of the closing disclosure prior to consummation, business day includes all calendar days except Sunday and legal holidays, which is the same as the current definition for refinance rescission period. The mailbox rule applies to any method of delivery other than providing to the borrower in person. The mailbox rule assumes the borrower has received the disclosure 3 days after delivery. This in addition to the CD waiting period, resulting in a 6-day waiting period. The mailbox rule is waived when we have documented borrower's receipt of the document, which we will have by electronic delivery. So as you can see here, you have 2 different options: hand delivery, which includes electronic, and mail delivery, which has different waiting periods based on what days are allowed to be counted. So what can you do as a realtor to prevent closing delays? Number 1, open escrow early. If you can choose your title company and get your title reports out ahead of time, which is good practice, that will save you time as well. Order your inspections early. This will help identify any major repairs and open any renegotiations that may need to happen. Communicate early and often with your loan officer. When anything changes on the purchase price, seller credit, other credits, or anything else with numbers, please let your lender know. This way we can make those adjustments and we're well aware of them before we do final disclosures. Mark your calendar to review your file with your loan officer at least 10 days before your close of escrow. This can prevent any surprises that could trigger a redisclosure of this closing disclosure. So key takeaways: embrace the change. The sooner you understand how TRID will impact your business, the easier the transition will be. Number 2, effective on application's date on or after October 3rd. So by the time you're watching this video, probably every contract is affected by this. All parties to the transaction, buyers, sellers, agents, escrow, will have new forms to learn. It's okay if the numbers change. We just want to make sure we find out early enough to prepare the closing disclosure correctly the first time. And finally, add time to your transactions. The National Association of Realtors is recommending adding 15 days to close of escrow timelines until the industry adjusts to the new normal. We are not anticipating closing delays, but there can be additional delays based on the understanding and preparedness of the borrowers and the realtors in the transaction. And as we said, not getting any applicable changes during the transaction and brought them to our attention so that, or to your lender's attention, so that we can make those effective changes before creating the final disclosures. Okay. American Pacific Mortgage has set up a TRID hotline. We welcome anyone involved in a transaction to call the TRID hotline if you have a question. The number is 855-551-3478, option 2. And if you'd like a PDF of this presentation or sample disclosures, please ask me, Mike West, 760-208-1739, or michael@westloanteam.com. Thank you very much.